came. Welcome back to my channel. Y'all already know when I'm sitting here, it's another story time. Y'all already know what else would it be. So y'all know I always gotta start my videos off. Yes, I do. I have to start my videos off with thanking my subscribers / family members. Y'all know I've y'all a long way because y'all me a long way. Y'all know that. So I want to thank all the new subscribers for coming in. If you watch my previous videos, if you would like, you automatically become a family member of mine. We family over here. It's number positivity over here. This is a transparent channel. So you pick the family member you want to be, and that's who you're going to be for the rest of this journey. Okay, we get lit over here. You're going to love it here. Okay, so y'all, I'm currently going through a toothache right now. So if I kind of sound like 50 Cent, you know, like my teeth is together. Y'all know I'm from the trenches. Don't nothing stop us. The little toothache is the pain is tearing me up right now, but that's not stopping me, okay? It's not stopping me at all. So, y'all see that story time. This is a part 2 to I Lost My Son. I want to thank all the love and support that I have received. I want to thank all the women that have reached out to tell me this story touched them because it's something that they went through and they never really told anybody about it. I dropped these story times because it's therapeutic. It's things that a lot of people never knew about me. And like I said, I just want to help other women. You know, that's really my goal here. You're not alone. Always remember that. From the last story time, I gave birth to my son, Amir Khalil S. And I left the hospital without my son. Don't worry, y'all. Y'all probably won't need Kleenex for this video. I know a lot of y'all is like, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. Y'all don't need Kleenex for this part. I mean, if you are extra sensitive, maybe so. But so I go home. Me and my mom, my father, you know, the same people that was always there to support me. They came to the hospital the very last day that I was there. You know, my brothers are the best brothers. I have 3 brothers, y'all, and they're amazing. That's all I'm gonna say. They're amazing. Even at bad times, funerals, somebody dying, a lot of people would say they're insensitive, but they're really not. They keep the family together to a extent of you don't gotta cry. Like you don't gotta cry. We're gonna make jokes. My brothers are amazing. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's literally what they did for me throughout grieving over my son. Once I left the hospital and I went back to my mother's house. I didn't want to stay at my mother's house because I had a crib standing up. I had a lot of baby stuff. My parents are good grandparents. They buy their grandkids any and everything. I mean, any and everything, okay? So my parents had bought any and everything. I had so much stuff, baby stuff, piled up in my house. I couldn't go back to the house. I didn't want to go there. So my brothers went to my house so they can pack up everything, so they can take the crib down, just get the house back, get my apartment back to how it looked when it was just me there. So I'm just at my mother's house. I'm there. I'm not eating. I'm not eating. I'm not sleeping. I'm just a shell. Like I was in a sunken place. This was my first time being in a sunken place, y'all. Like some days the TV would be on and I'm just sitting there like, so it's like I'm looking at the TV, but my eyes is on the TV, but my eyes, I don't know what's going on the TV, if I get what I'm saying. I was literally a shell. My mom is trying to get me to eat. My father, everybody's trying to get me to eat, y'all. And I wasn't eating. I was not eating. Didn't want to eat. Throughout this process, y'all, I developed an eating disorder. I started starving myself. This is something else that nobody knows about. I started starving myself. Um, I would take food from people, and when they weren't looking, I would throw the food away and pretend like I ate it. I lost so much weight, and when I would look in the mirror, I would see fat, pregnant Kane. Now, I wasn't fat. I was pregnant. I just had a stomach. I was just all stomach, y'all. So, but in my mind, whenever I looked in that mirror, I seen this fat person, pregnant stomach. This is no cap. This is literally what I saw. So, up under these cheeks here, I I have dimples. I have a dimple here because I got some fat on my face, but I have a dimple. I have a dimple here, and I have one little small one here. And as I was losing this weight, I started realizing, like, oh my God, I got dimples. These dimples are hereditary from my mother. So, like I said, this is just something that I never told anybody. Nobody never know this about me. But yes, I developed an eating disorder. So whenever I looked in this mirror and I would smile and I could see the dimples more clearly, I'm like, okay, I'm on the right path. I'm gonna just go ahead and keep starving myself until I can see them dimples, y'all. This is literally the death of my son is turning mental. It's turning mental. I'm literally losing it mentally, and I'm not realizing it, but everybody else is. Everybody else around me is realizing it. They're saying things to me. I'm thinking that they're crazy, so I'm not listening to them. Like, I'm losing it, y'all, literally. So I had not seen or spoke to Richard. Richard finally Richard finally contacts me, and he's literally trying to blame me for the reason why he's in this down sunken place. He's just like,
You could have told me that you were giving birth. Like, you lured me to the hospital. Why didn't you tell me?
he's literally still complaining about this outfit, still complaining why I didn't tell him that I was giving birth to my son. Why this? Why that? Like, I'm not grieving. I'm not grieving. Is that what you're saying? So, y'all, my mother now is like, stop accepting calls from him. My mother wants to call and curse him out, literally. My father wants to beat him up. My brothers, everybody is just like, don't communicate with this man anymore. Stay away from him. Leave him alone. But y'all know, like I said, I had mentally lost it, y'all. I mentally lost it. Aside from Richard calling and trying to blame me as the reason why my son had passed away, I'm going through this. I'm going through this eating disorder. My mother is getting worried. My mother's getting worried. My mother's just like,
why you starting to lose a lot of weight? Or you need to eat something. You need to eat. Enough is enough.
like, my mother's getting irritated, y'all. Like, you need to eat. So I'm like, I did eat. But I'm lying. Like, I'm lying through my teeth. That's probably why my teeth hurt. Okay, but I'm just like, I did eat. So my father is just like,
I have not seen Kane eat. I haven't seen her drink anything. Nothing.
Mom, this is my mother telling me. My mother's like,
If you don't eat, if you don't drink anything, I'm taking you to the mental ward. Take you to the psych ward.
so I'm like, I'm not going to no psych ward. But no way, I'm not going to no psych ward. Like, this is what I'm saying with myself. So I'm just like, I'm still at my mother's house. I did not go home. They refused to let me go home. My therapist refused for me to be alone. My therapist is like, stay with your family. Even if you have to move back in with them, but you need to be around people. You cannot be alone. So I go into the room with my brothers, and one of my brothers is just like,
Bro, you need to eat. Like, you're fading away. You're fading away. You look like a brackhead.
so I'm just like, y'all, in my head, I wasn't seeing that. I wasn't seeing that. I was still seeing the fat pregnant king. This is what I was seeing. Um, So I go to my therapist, and my therapist notices, and my therapist is just like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, nothing. She's like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I feel great. I was lying. In inside, y'all, I felt like complete, total shit. That's how I felt. I felt less of a woman. I felt like I wasn't a woman. I felt like I didn't deserve to be a woman. I started to blame God. I stopped believing in God. Literally, I stopped believing in God. And this had it started to get bad. Even when I was going to this therapist was directly across the street from Downstate Hospital. I didn't want to see Downstate Hospital's building anymore. So I would take a cab to the backside of this building, which was the R building. If y'all familiar with the Downstate Hospital area, I would take a cab to the backside of this building, and I would walk all the way around, y'all, all the way around, and come through. There was like a little rampway where maintenance and stuff would be coming, in and out. And for some reason, every time I went, that gate was always open. I don't know. I don't know. It was always open, and I was able to come into the building through that little rampway without looking at that hospital. The crazy part was my therapist's office. My therapist's office was on the side where the hospital was. So when you look out her window, you can see the hospital. And she started, once I told her that, I don't know why I told her that, but I told her how I was traveling to the hospital. One day I came to the hospital, and this lady went to her window and pulled her shades up. And I almost lost it in that office. I'm just like, me and her, well, I started arguing with her. I started, yelling at her, cursing and everything. And then I started crying. And she was just standing there with her arms folded. And she's like, how do you feel now? So I'm like, I feel much better. I forgot her name, but she was like the really best therapist that I ever had, y'all. And Dr. Sani, that was her name. I don't know where she is to this day. If she ever sees this video, you were and are the best therapist that I've ever had since in therapy history. Okay. She grabbed her chair from her desk and sat it next to mine, and we sat at this window looking at Downstate Hospital's building and talking. And she was like, the next time you come here, I want you to take, take your taxi and get out behind Downstate Hospital. And I want you to walk past the hospital to get here. You're going to come through the regular entrance. And this is how I started my journey on healing from my son dying. So here's a part of this story time where I do not want to be judged, okay? Because I said I was young and I had lost my mind mentally. I really did. I lost my mind mentally. At some point, y'all, I go back home. All of my friends came to the house. They had flowers, they had balloons, they had candy. I have the best friends in the world. They spent the night in my house for days. They were leaving to go to work from there. They would come cook food, or they would order food. We were just there together, a group of friends. So Tangi is just like,
I have a friend. I want you to meet him. I think you'll like him.
and I'm just like, yo, I really wasn't trying to meet nobody else. I still, and I'm not even gonna say stupid came, because like I said, it was declared when my son died. I lost my mind, y'all. I really did. I was doing weird things. I would cook food, put the food on the stove, and go and lay down and go to sleep. And I would wake up houses damn near burned down. Apartments damn near burned down. Like, I was doing weird things. I was doing very weird things. Um, Sleeping for days and days and days and not seeing the day of light. I quit my job. I had lost it. So I'm telling Tangi, I don't want to meet your friend. I don't want to date anybody else. I feel like it was it was a really bad soul tie. I think that's what it was. And I had got pregnant again. Yes, we had used protection, but like I said, sometimes the condoms break. I really feel like this condom was tampered with to break. I don't know, y'all. That's just how I feel. But we used protection. Protection, it didn't work. It didn't work. I don't know if this was like an old condom. I don't know, y'all. But I ended up getting pregnant again. This time, when I go to the hospital, yes, back to the same hospital, they're telling me that it's twins. There's twins. It's two babies. They do a sonogram, y'all. And I didn't have morning sickness. I just was really, really sleepy. And I think I threw up maybe once or twice. But I didn't have morning sickness. Me and Richard, it was just like an on and off thing. He would come to the house, act like he wants to hang out with me. He took me to the movies, and this is stuff that we were not doing. We never did anything, y'all. We never went nowhere, nothing. He took me to the movies, then we went to eat. We would come back to the house. He wants to have sex. This is the one time I get pregnant again. So I'm back at Downstate Hospital once again. Like, I didn't know what other hospital to go to, y'all. So I'm back at Downstate Hospital. I didn't even want to tell my family this time because my brother took my son's death really hard. He really did. He went into a depressive state as well. It was just bad. Everybody's head up because, like I said, they was all in that room. So I'm back at Downstate. I don't even want to tell my mother. I didn't want to tell her, but I had to because I didn't know who else to tell. And Maribel is just like, tell your mother. Tell somebody because you see what happened this first time. We need to figure out what's going on. So y'all, I called my mother. I tell my mother. My mother's excited again, but still wary. She also did not agree with the fact that it was by Richard again. That's fine and dandy. And I know y'all probably like, why? Just watch the story. Just watch the story time. Like I said, it's a transparent channel. There's no judging. No judging at all. There's women who are in relationships who have multiple kids with someone that is very abusive to them from day one. We'll talk about that later. Let's go back to the story time. So the doctor's doing the sonogram on the same BS portable machine. And he's like,
I need you to come back tomorrow. I have to make you an appointment. Come back tomorrow so you can go to the official sonogram because something doesn't look right.
So I'm just like, God, here we go once again. Like, what the? Okay. I go with my mother. My mother wants to come. Then when we get there, the doctor is like,
It looks like twins. It's twins. It's like it's two sacks. Two separate sacks.
So I'm just like, twins. So I'm like, okay, now what? So he's like,
well, you're going to have to come back. We're going to draw blood. We're going to come back. We have to keep checking your blood levels. Your blood levels is what tells us if this is going to be a healthy pregnancy or not.
So y'all, once again, they're focusing on my HCG blood levels instead of focusing on the fact that I have something wrong with my cervix and it's in the records. So my mother is just like,
I don't know if I want you to get care at this hospital. We need to find another hospital somewhere else where you can be seen because I really don't like trust this hospital anymore with what happened with Amir.
So I'm agreeing with her. I'm just like, yeah, same here. So I didn't even get a chance to make it, y'all, to the other doctor, the other gynecologist. And she was amazing too. She was the best gynecologist I ever had. She was in Flatbush. But y'all, I ended up bleeding. So I called my mother like, "Mom, I'm bleeding." My mother is like, "Oh God." So I'm just like, I guess I'm miscarrying. Now y'all, I wasn't even sad at this point. I didn't cry or anything. Like I'm just like I just knew that this wasn't gonna work. I knew it wasn't gonna work. So my mother calls the new gynecologist and she says for me to come in, just do a walk-in, just come in ASAP. So when we get there, we had to wait a little while because it's a walk-in. So when we get to finally see her, she's examining me and she's like, "Yes, your uterus feels like there's it's a pregnancy, it's a baby there. um Maybe you're just spotting because a lot of women spot when they're pregnant." So I'm just like, okay, so I'm still pregnant. She's like, "Well, we're gonna do the blood test, the HCG beta, I don't know if I'm saying it right, BETA. We're gonna do that test and we're gonna watch your numbers." I'm like, "All right, fine." So y'all, I go home. I had to come back in 3 days. She told me to come back in 3 days. So I go home and I start bleeding really bad now. So I call my mother. I'm like, "Ma, the bleeding is back and it's bad. And I have pain." So we go to the hospital. We go to the ER. This is like in the middle of the night. We go to the ER. They declared me as miscarrying. I'm having a miscarriage. So I'm just like, all right. My mother kept asking me, "Am I okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." But I wasn't fine, y'all. I was not fine. I still was thinking about my son. This was like a slight reenactment of losing my son. So no, I'm not okay. That's just what I'm telling her. But I really wasn't okay. So now they give me this medicine. They're like, "You're gonna take this." They told me I had a urine infection as well. You're miscarrying. That's it. So my mother is like, "Does she need, a scraping?" A scraping is a DNC, and that's when after you have a miscarriage, they need to vacuum out remnants of that pregnancy to make sure nothing goes wrong. So the doctor, this is a downstate, the doctor is just like, "No, she doesn't need scraping. It's going to pass through. It's going to pass through because this is early pregnancy." This is what the doctor said. So days go by now. I'm home. My mother wanted me to come to her house because she's just like,
I don't want you to be alone. This is just too much.
I'm like, "Nah, I'm okay. I'm okay." So my brother calls. My brother's like, "Do you want me to come spend the night?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." Everybody is trying to come spend the night, but I just wanted to be alone. I wanted to be alone so I can soak up the stupidity, the pain, the regrets, and everything. I wanted to soak it all up. So y'all, I had met this guy. I wasn't cheating, but I had met this guy on Twitter. This is when Twitter was like really just started getting popping crazy. And this guy had just texted me out of nowhere. It was so weird, yo. This guy had sent me a message and he was just like, "King, what's good?" And I'm like, "Who's this?" So he's like, he says, let's call him Rodney. We'll call him Rodney. So he's like, "This is Rodney." So I'm like, "Rodney?" Like the name sounded familiar. So he's like, "Can I call you?" So I'm like, "Yeah." So he calls me. He's like,
Hey, what's good?
so I'm like, "I still don't remember who you are." He's like,
Rodney from Twitter. Too.
and I'm like, "Okay." So after him trying to explain who he was, I started to remember who he was. So y'all, I don't know. I just confided in this boy. I started telling him everything that was going on. I started crying on the phone. And Rodney is like,
do you want me to come to your house? Like, I've never been to your house, but do you want me to come? You sound like you need, a companion, or you need somebody like to just vent to.
so I'm like, nah, we can talk over the phone. I don't want to take it there. We can talk over the phone, Rodney I was in communication with Rodney for a minute during this whole process, grieving of my son and going through this miscarriage. Rodney kept saying to me,
Maybe God is trying to tell you that this guy, Richard, is not for you. You need to get away from Richard. This is why you keep having these issues.
hearing it from Rodney sound different from hearing it from my mother and my aunt and everybody else. I don't know. Like, it wasn't that I didn't want to listen to my mother, but it was just like I felt nobody understood me. That's how I felt. And I even said this to Rodney, and Rodney was like,
Explain to me what they're not understanding or what I'm not understanding.
so that whole time, like, he's asking me that, y'all, I really couldn't even explain it because I don't even fucking know. I didn't know. So Rodney was like,
You got a soul tie. You got a soul tie to the devil. That's what you got.
so I'm like, so Rodney was like,
I don't know how you can get rid of the soul tie, but hopefully you get rid of it. And Ken, I really like you a lot, and I think you need to get away from old boy. You need to get away from dude. Maybe me and you should date.
this is what he's saying. So I'm like, nah. But yeah, we did end up dating. That's a whole nother story time. That's another story time. I'm just like, nah, He's like,
You actually being faithful to somebody that does not care about you. Why is he not there with you? He should have been there with you. Why you going through this with your son, and why you going through this? It is his kid, right?
I'm like, yeah. So Rodney was right, y'all. He was right. It was complete facts. So after talking to Rodney, I'm still home. Days and days, I'm still home. Y'all realize I'm not mentioning Richard because Richard, no communication from Richard. Richard he's using the death of Amir as
of grieving. I don't even want to go to work. I don't want to go outside. I don't want to.
when he really was with, he really was with an itch. And he thought I didn't know, but I did know. So, y'all, my brothers and my sisters was like, let's have a barbecue. This is around July. Maybe like July 4th is around this holiday, July 4th. And Amir had died March 1st. So this is like July, okay? So I'm like, all right, cool. The miscarriage is done with because I had stopped bleeding, everything. But something still wasn't right, y'all. Something still was not right. So we go to this barbecue. I'm feeling very sick. I'm feeling like very nauseous. I can't really keep my food down. I'm feeling dizzy. Like, I'm just feel like I need to be in bed. So my sister's just like,
You just don't want to be outside. That's what it is.
I said, no, look, like, I really, really don't feel well. I don't know what's going on. So my father is just like,
You look dark. Like, have you been outside in the sun? Like,
I told you my father's hilarious though. But he's just like,
you must have dirt on your face. Like, you just look really, really dark.
I'm looking in the mirror at myself like, dark where? Like, where do I look dark? I didn't see it, y'all. I'm like, where do I look dark at? So we're at this barbecue. My brothers and them, they lighten up the food. They lighten up the grill. All the girls be sitting there. I'm really holding on. Like, I'm holding on by thin thread. I don't know what's happening to me, y'all. I'm mentally lost, and now my health is declining. I don't know what's happening. So I couldn't wait till that barbecue was over with. Everybody at the barbecue just kept saying I looked horrible. I was dressed nice, my hair was done, but they just was like, you look horrible. Like, you don't look like the king we know. Your skin you're dark. Like, dark. I was darker than this, like dark. your eyes, your eyes are red. You don't look well. So my mother is like, pack a bag and come to the house. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay here and, be home. So my mother's like, well, I'm gonna come over there. She came with her, her and my brothers. My mother cleaned up the house for me, made some food, and then they ended up leaving. After they tried to convince me to leave with them, I didn't want to go, and then they ended up leaving. The next morning, y'all, because I'm fast forwarding this story, I just want to get all this sad stuff out the way. The next morning, Richard is knocking on the door. So I go to the door. I look at the people. It's Richard. So I open up the door. He's just like,
I left my keys in the car. I didn't even lock my car. I don't know. I didn't feel like going back to get the keys, but I came to check on you.
and this is weeks and weeks and weeks after my son has died. Richard didn't even know about this pregnancy. I didn't tell him. So I'm just like, okay. So he's like,
You alright? Like, you look weird.
so I said, what do you mean look weird?
You don't look like yourself. You lost, you lost a lot of weight. Your complexion is different. You just don't look the same.
So I'm like, well, I'm grieving. I'm grieving. So y'all, Richard tries to bring up me. It's my fault as to why my son had died. He tried to gaslight or scapegoat, whatever word it is, narcissistic. He tried to start some issue with me. So I asked him to leave. I told him to get the fuck out. Okay? And he left. But he didn't leave the area. He left. He's like, he calls my phone. Is like, I'm getting some food from the Jamaican spot up on Utica. Do you want something? So I'm like, no. I want you to leave me alone. This is what I told him. So he's just like, I'm not leaving you alone. I'm gonna bring some food. So he goes and he buys. He hangs up. My phone rings again, so I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna get ready to curse this man the fuck out, like, because I'm at this point, y'all. I was just sick and tired of Richard. I really was. I was day by day. I was getting sick of him. So when I go to the phone, it's Rodney. So I'm like, hello. He's
Like, King, what's up?
So I'm like, nothing much. He's
like, I'm in the area. I'm in your area. I'm in Crown Heights. I wanted to know if I could stop by.
So I'm like, no. He's just like,
I was just trying to give you time to get over the miscarriage.
Because it's like week 2 going into week 3 of the miscarriage, y'all. Yeah, it's like week 3 of this miscarriage. Pre-miscarriage. Miscarriage is done with. So I thought. So I'm just like, I'm still grieving. I just want to be alone. So he's like, all right, well, I'm going to call you back before I leave the area and see if you need anything or what you're doing. So I'm like, all right, cool. So y'all, I go into the shower. I turn the shower on. I get into the shower. I'm washing up in the shower. And I had this sharp pain. I don't know. This pain was out of this world, y'all. It was out of this world. It came out of nowhere. So I bends down. I'm like, oh my God. What the? Whew. Y'all, I just felt like I had to make number 2. I'm not giving y'all too much TMI, but I'm trying to be transparent and tell y'all what's going on. But I felt like I needed to poop. So I just bent down in the shower. Like, I bent down and I'm like, down falls something about this big. This is no lie, no cap. Something about this big falls into the tub. I jumps out of the tub because I don't know what the fuck it was. And it had a bad smell to it. I mean, bad. I jumps out of the tub and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, I'm lost. So y'all, I runs, I grab my bathrobe, puts my bathrobe on, I runs and grab my phone. I call my mother, I'm like, Ma, I'm hysterical. My mother's like, what is it? What's going on? What's going on? So I'm like, Ma, something just came out of me. I don't know what it is. Like it's big, it's in a tub. So my mother is like, what? FaceTime me so I can see. So I FaceTime her, and I didn't even want to go in the, and I did not want to go in the bathroom, y'all. I didn't want to go in the bathroom. I was scared to go in the bathroom and look at it because I didn't know what it was. So I'm telling my mother, like, it stinks really bad. Like, I don't know what it is, and I'm bleeding again. So my mother is like, go in the bathroom, Kane, and put the phone to the tub so I can see it. So I go in the bathroom. I'm covering my face like this, and I got the phone like this, like that, so she can see. And my mother is like, it's quiet. So I'm like, hello? My face still covered. She's like, Kane. So I'm like, yeah. Come back to the phone. So I walk out of the bathroom and I go back to the phone, and my mother is like, that's a baby. And I'm like, a baby? That's what it looks like. So as soon as she says that, Richard is coming through the door. So, and the shower is still on, still running. Richard's looking at me. Richard's like,
what's that smell?
Because y'all, like I said, the smell was crazy. Richard is like,
what's that smell?
So my mother's like, is that Richard? And I'm like, yeah. So he's like telling me to say no. So I'm like, yeah, it's Richard. Richard, give him the phone. So I turn the phone around, and he's like,
how you doing, bro?
My mother, she didn't even say hi. She's just like, go in the bathroom and look in the tub and see what that is in that tub, because it looks like a baby to me. So Richard is like,
what?
She's like, go in the damn bathroom and look in the tub. It looks like a baby. So Richard goes into the bathroom, and he bends down. He's looking at it. And he stands up, and he turns, and he looks at me, and he's like,
where did that come from? What's going on?
Is it a baby? Richard's like, yeah, it's a baby. It's a baby inside of a sack. You can see the little umbilical cord, everything. It's in the tub. My mother is like, call 911, get dressed, I'm on my way. Richard is like,
so what do we do with this?
My mother is like, pick it up and put it into a bag or something. So Richard's standing there. Richard's like, I'm like, I'm just looking at it. So my mother calls back. Call your gynecologist and tell her what's going on and see what she said. So I call my gynecologist. I'm telling her everything. She says to put it into a bag or a bowl. She says put it into a bowl and seal it closed, and then put it into a bag and take it with you to the ER. Finally, maybe after 30 minutes, Richard goes and picks it up and puts it into a bowl, and we close it up. My mother comes to the house. We get in a cab. We didn't take the ambulance. We just get into a cab and we leave and go to the hospital. Richard didn't go with us. So y'all, when we get to the hospital, the doctors, they're like, you're miscarrying. So I'm like, I had a miscarriage 3 weeks ago. Like, I'm confused. So my gynecologist shows up to the hospital, and she's just like, why didn't y'all give her a D&C? This is at downstate. The doctor there is just like, well, they probably felt she didn't need one because she was early on. So my gynecologist takes the bowl, and she's like, this does not look early on. This looks like she was maybe about going into month 3. So she's looking at it. She's holding the bowl up. She's looking or whatever, and she's like, yeah, this is like maybe 9 weeks. This is a 9-week embryo, like 10 weeks the most. So that's when the other doctor that I saw comes in, and he's like, well, I did say you were having twins. I told you that. So I'm like, okay. He's like, well, that means that one came out and one didn't. So y'all, the medicine, the antibiotics that they had gave me probably wiped out this other baby. I think that's what was going on. You know, downstate was just very reckless, and they never really fully examined. Okay, they never really fully examined. So my mother now is annoyed. My mother is like, listen, you're gonna start using protection, or you're gonna leave Richard the fuck alone. I would prefer you to leave him the fuck alone because I can't stand him. This is what my mother's saying. My friends is saying the same thing. Okay, everybody is saying the same thing. This is God's sign to tell you to leave Richard alone. It's finagle. You're done with Richard. Leave Richard alone. So I'm just like, once I got home, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, Richard is going to make me destroy my body. Like, this is miscarriages after miscarriages after miscarriages. My son not making it to full term. What else? Abortions, like abortion. I was ruining my body, ruining my womb for this wigger. Like, and I was just like, nah, I'm not doing this no more. And then every time I get pregnant, you're asking me, why am I getting pregnant? What do you mean? Why am I getting pregnant?
Why? I don't understand why you keep getting pregnant. I don't understand. Like, you just keep getting pregnant. You won't stop getting pregnant.
So, y'all, after that abortion, I told you I was completely done with Richard. I didn't want anything else to do with him. Nothing else to do with him. Because it's just like, I don't get it. Like, you want to have intercourse with no protection, or I feel like Richard was tampering with the condoms, because there's no way condoms just keep breaking like that, okay? But they're breaking, or whatever's happening, and you don't know why. You don't know why I keep getting pregnant. So y'all, like I said, it took me until 2014 to get over my son dying, okay? I didn't have luck with a lot of these wiggers. I really did. Me and Josh had a baby. Josh's mother did not. I'm just putting all my baby stories in this one video so I can get past it. But me and Josh had a baby, and his mother, she kept saying the whole time, I don't want her to have this baby. Y'all don't need to have babies. Y'all do too much. Y'all this, y'all that. I don't want this, I don't want that. It's not up to you, lady. It's not up to you. So I gave my son with Josh Jr., so I'll call him that. He was a stillborn. He was stillborn. He was born with the cord around his neck. He didn't stand a chance. Okay. And then there was my daughter. I'm saving the story about my daughter for a different time during the Jarrell series. We're not into the Jarrell series yet. But it was crazy. Like, I just feel like God was using my children as ways to show me, like, these is not the wiggers. We don't want you with a wigger. We want you with a man. I'm just gonna say it. We want you with a man, your kingdom spouse, not a wigger, because that's what wiggers, literally. Like, but I'm glad to be able to finish. I'm glad to be able to tell part 2 without crying. I feel better here, but it was just weird, y'all. There was no support from Richard at all. Richard, I literally went through grieving my son alone. Richard will only come around to start nonsense or to try to have intercourse, and then get mad if I get pregnant. That's all that was going on. That was all that was going on. And when I broke up with him, My family wanted to throw a parade because they couldn't stand him. They could not stand him. So I had my son with Josh April 11th, 2016. I went into labor in my sleep. By the time we got to the hospital, they told me they could not find a heartbeat on my son. They did an ultrasound. My son was just laying there floating, not moving or anything. So, um, I had a miscarriage scare with my son, with Josh. This was an ATL, Southern Regional Hospital. Y'all heard about Southern Regional Hospital where they decapitated the baby. This doctor, she said that I don't know, y'all. Like, me and Josh had got into this argument. Josh started an argument with me because one of my friends wanted to move into the house, come stay there. She was pregnant, and she was trying to have an abortion at 7 months pregnant. Josh didn't want her in the house, and I don't blame him. Okay, I really don't blame him. But Josh is like,
I want this bitch out of the house. This bitch gotta go because there's no way. She thinks she's staying here and she's going to get an abortion. That's not happening.
like that. So I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna tell her that she has to leave.
She's getting out today.
Y'all, I was just really stressed. Once again, I never had a pregnancy where I was not stressed. Every pregnancy I was stressed out, literally. I gets up to go to the bathroom, goes to the toilet, y'all. I didn't even get a chance to go over the toilet. It was just blood just coming out like a faucet, and it wouldn't stop. So I'm screaming, Josh, Josh, Josh. Like, I'm calling him Josh, and I'm screaming and crying. Josh comes running. He comes running into the bathroom. He's
like, what? What the fuck is going on? What did you do? What the fuck did you do?
So I'm like, I didn't do anything. Like, I just came to pee, and this is what happened. So Josh go get his phone. He's calling 911. Josh ends up fainting. He like passes out on the floor. Like, it was crazy. He passes out on the floor. The ambulance and everything, the fire department, they come fast. My friend is like, somebody is banging on the door. They're saying that it's the county police. It was all of them. So I'm like, let them in. Tell them to come to the back room. So they come in and they go straight to Josh. I guess that's the only person they saw. They seen Josh laying on the floor. So they go to Josh and they see blood, because it's blood. It's blood on him. It's blood on the floor, you know. So they're like, sir, are you all right? Like, they're trying to wake him up. So he wakes up and he instantly starts crying. He's hysterical now. He's
like, my baby.
So they're like, one of the firefighters peeks into the bathroom and he's like,
it's in here. Oh my fucking God.
Blood all over the floor. I had called my parents. My mother, my father, they're all hysterical. This is an ATL. So they're trying to come into the bathroom all at one time. It's just crazy. They're like, are you giving birth? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, the bleeding won't stop. I had to take a towel and just hold it there, y'all. So they pick me up and they're carrying me. And Josh is still hysterical. They're trying to calm Josh down. They calm him down. Like, he's losing it. He's like,
my baby, I don't want my baby to die. I don't want her to die. Please help them. Help my girl, please.
You know, so they're like, we're gonna help her. Everything's gonna be fine. Don't worry. So they take me. My friend is like, she's like, oh my God, what's going on? So we leave. They put me into the ambulance, y'all, and we get to Southern Regional Hospital. I cannot stand Southern Regional Hospital. I have went to Southern Regional Hospital for asthma attacks and everything, and they don't care. I came in ambulance. They would take me from the back and tell me to go sit out in the waiting area. Waiting area has got 1,000 people out there, and I'm sitting there, can't breathe. Okay, so we get to Southern Regional. The ambulance is like, this woman is pregnant. This woman is 5 months pregnant, and she's hemorrhaging really bad. So they take me to the back, actually, to the back. There's this little small Caucasian doctor walks in, and she's got a nurse with her. She tells my father to step out of the room. My father steps out of the room. He ends up leaving, going outside, because Josh had drove in a car. Josh had drove behind the ambulance or whatever. So he goes outside with Josh. They're outside. And this doctor comes with this tube. She has a tube. And this tube is used for maybe breathing or something, but it's a tube. She connects it to the little thing where you connect the breathing mask. She tells the nurse to stand at the door and make sure nobody comes in. She turns around to my mother, looks to my mother, and says, whatever y'all see here stays here. So I'm like, what does that mean? She's like, you want me to save your baby, right? And I'm like, yeah. Y'all, she takes the tube, sticks the tube up there, and she tells the girl, the other nurse, because there was a second nurse, she tells the nurse, turn it on. When I tell you to turn it off, turn it off. She says, turn it on. So the girl turns it on. She tells her what volume to put it on. And this lady is using this tube to suck blood out and everything. And I'm just laying there, and she's got the ultrasound machine, and she's watching the machine, and she's sucking and sucking and sucking. So she's like, all right, turn it off. And she turns to the nurse. I said, turn the off. So the girl turns it off, and she examines me down there. She's like, do you feel any cramping or anything? I'm like, no. And she's looking at the ultrasound machine, and she's pressing on my stomach. And there my son is like, he's just swimming around, and she's like, she turns and looks at me and says, this didn't happen. I could lose my job, but this didn't happen. And my mother looks at her like, watching her leave the room. So she comes back in like a regular doctor. She's got the notepad, and she's just asking questions. And then she gives me a prescription for regular Tylenol. Tells me to go home, go on bed rest, put my feet up. This is weird, y'all. So they let Josh come in because I didn't have no clothes. I was bare at the bottom. So Josh comes in. Josh is like, he's looking around. He's like,
wait, is my baby all right? Is my son okay?
And I'm like, yeah, he's fine. He's like, you all right? I'm like, yes. So y'all, while we were at the hospital, my friend calls my phone. I tell my mother to answer the phone. My mother's got it on speakerphone, and she's like, she's not my friend anymore, y'all, to this day. But she's like, oh, Josh is in the room. He's crying. He's sitting on the floor. He's crying really, really bad. Should I go comfort him? So my mother is like, leave him the fuck alone. What do you mean comfort him? Do not go in my daughter's room and leave him alone. Leave Josh alone. Like, this is what my mother's telling the girl. So she's like, oh, I just feel so bad because he's crying. I'm like, all right, so let him cry. He's fine. Because, y'all, I mean, Josh would have cursed out. I know this man. He would have cursed out. He wanted her out the house.
So y'all, me and her ended up stop being friends because she still ended up getting an abortion at 7 months pregnant. And she ended up writing a book and using the events that she saw in my house from when I was getting ready to lose my child. She used that as an excuse as to how she lost her son when she really aborted her baby. So that's why we stopped being friends.
Anyway, so when Josh came to bring the clothes, he was like,
Yeah, this ugly bitch come in the room talking about, are you all right? Are you okay? Do you need a hug? I told that bitch to get the out the room. You talking to? Do I need a hug? Get your ugly ass out of my house.
I went home and I went on bed rest. And Josh would cook food, make sure I was all right, everything. But then he had this side to him where Like because I said Josh was a narc as well. So he started to act crazy too at some point. Some days he would act crazy, some days he wouldn't. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, literally. And that was stressing me out too. So, I went and I stayed at my mother's house. I stayed at my mother's house and I went into labor in my brother's room. And that was it. My son died. He was born deceased because he had the cord around his neck. I held him. I bonded with him. I held him. I bonded with him. For his little memorial service, he had a little white suit. He looked exactly like Josh. It was crazy, exactly like Josh, and Amir looked exactly like Richard. Um, it was an experience. Losing Amir kind of helped me when I lost my son Josh Jr. So I was just, I don't know, like I was sad, I cried, but it was this warming feeling because I bonded, I held him, I held my son for a couple of hours maybe. I just held him, you know, and my mother went upstairs to the morgue for the babies, and it was crazy, y'all. It was crazy. I got my son cremated, so I have his ashes. I'm just gonna cover his name up, his real name, because he's named after. This is, see the letter J. This is my son's ashes inside this box, and that's like, I don't know if y'all can see it. My little lip print there. My little lip print there. But this is my son's ashes. So that is son number 2. I cried like an infant when it was time to get, when the funeral home called and said they were going to pick him up from the hospital, and I had to go to the funeral home and process everything. My mother came. My mother's a very strong woman. Like, there's times where I couldn't do it, and my mother had to hold on to her pain and just do everything. Okay, I'll do it. So yeah, that's why I love my mother to infinity and beyond. You know, and my father, because my father, he's a G. He's literally a G. So this is my story time. And like I said, I'm gonna speak about my daughter at it. When we get to the Jarrell series, this is about Richard now. So this is my story time. I hope that this story, I hope it didn't make anybody cry, because I didn't cry. I'm okay now. Amir's death was just really, really sad because that was my first time ever experiencing anything like that. If anybody has, any women or men too, if you have experienced losing a child, whether it be an infant, a miscarriage, stillborn, or just the death of a child, you can reach out and talk to me, and we can talk privately if you want. Because like I said, this is a transparent channel. Okay. Y'all see the title. So if it's too touchy for you, you don't have to click on the video and watch it. So I just want to thank everybody for your support, your kind words, the women that reached out to tell me their situation and how this story touched them, and how they went through something similar, like I said, this is a transparent channel. It's nothing fake over here. This is real life, okay? And I tell these stories because it's therapeutic. And like I said, there's women out here that's going through something similar, or they just started going through it and they don't have nobody to talk to. It's like my mother used to say, it's always somebody that's going through something worse than you. So I am thankful for being the woman that I am today. All of this here, all these story times, everything that I went through in life has turned me into the woman I am right now. If I've never experienced any of these things, I don't even know if I would be Kane. I don't know who I would be. Like, I don't know. But with that being said, that's the end of this story time. So if you like this story time, give this video a thumbs up and leave some positive comments. If you didn't like this story time, give this video a thumbs up and move along. So at the end of this video, I said I was going to do it when I go live, but I'm going to just do it now. I have a family member subscriber. And the reason why I'm doing it on this one, because this kind of helps. I have a family member subscriber here. And she sent me some stuff. So I'm going to give her some promo here. We got Mimi's XXX toys, okay? So she sent me this here. This is steam. This is the vaginal steam. So the reason why I'm promoting this at the end of this video is because a lot of women need cleansing in the JJ area, okay? And I've heard that these steams and these are vaginal pearls. They help with fertility. So that's the reason why I'm posting it at the end. And she sent me this vaginal steam. I'm gonna try this very, very soon. Okay, because y'all, I'm getting ready to get married. I'm not engaged yet, but I'm just putting it out there, okay? Just in case I do find a husband. So, I'm gonna try this vaginal steam. I'm gonna try this vaginal steam here, and I'm gonna try these pearls to get my body together. And this is her product here. This is, my family member / subscriber. This is her product here. Reach out to her and get your body right so you can have a healthy, safe pregnancy. Because I'm going to definitely try this. And I want to thank you for sending that to me. She sent me something else, but I'm going to promote that when I go live. It can't come to this video. So with that being said, y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate the support. I appreciate all the love that I get from y'all. Y'all know it's real over here. I spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Okay? So with that being said, y'all already know. You know what I'm getting ready to say, right? Y'all know it's summertime. If you outside, if you're at a barbecue, if you standing outside with the ice cups, if you in the hood, if you having a fight, if you in an argument, if you in a clothing store, wherever you at, you on a phone, wherever you at, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another motherfucking friend that the cane is on the fucking tube. Peace.
Best of luck when I come around.